Welcome to Da Headlines. I'm Anthony Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, Tzu Chi volunteers are back in quake-torn Haiti to put up 50 prefabricated homes for tent-dwelling families. A new Jing Si Books and Cafe opens in the Chinese capital of Beijing, becoming Tzu Chi's 54th store worldwide. And in a week that started with World Refugee Day, we bring you a new series of feature reports on Thailand's overseas workers. First up today, 22 Tzu Chi volunteers from the United States recently returned to Haiti, which is still struggling to recover from the earthquake that struck last year. This time the volunteers brought 50 prefabricated houses with them. The cool and waterproof homes are being set up in a tent city outside Port-au-Prince, the brainchild of New Jersey chapter volunteer Jing Si. The houses are designed specifically with Haiti's tropical climate in mind. Jing Si is also in charge of on-site assembly, a job not made easy by the relentless heat.
In the sweltering heat of June, 22 U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers returned to Haiti. This time to help residents of Pont-Neuf tent city set up 50 prefab houses. The 26 emergency homes Tzu Chi erected with honeycomb boards last year are still in fine shape and not being used.
My wife and I and our 6 children live here. At night, everyone sleeps on the floor.
The prefab houses that are going up are the brainchild of Jing Si, along with 8 other fellow volunteers from New Jersey. They are in Haiti to help the 2010 earthquake victims.
We started loading up materials at around 5 this morning. I wasn't paying attention to when we got on the road. You said we've worked for 12 hours already? I don't know about that. The home will not be hot inside, like those made of corrugated metal, because there are ventilation holes on the top. With ventilation holes, it'll be okay. It'll be definitely cooler than what they are living in now.
The weatherproof houses with good ventilation are surely something to look forward to for quake survivors, who have been living in tents for over a year.
Every time it rains, the roof leaks and water gets inside the house, which means you have to sponge up the water before you can sleep at night. Now I'm very excited because I know that in the future I will be getting a good night's sleep.
With temperatures reaching 40 degrees, the endurance of every volunteer is challenged. However, knowing the happiness of residents once they move into their new homes, volunteers find themselves working even harder and with even more determination.
After 7 months of work, a Jing Si Books and Cafe store has opened in the Chinese capital of Beijing. During preparations, volunteers shared the benefits of vegetarianism with the workers, and local residents of the bustling Donghua Shi street, where the shop is located, soon took notice as well.
As people in Beijing hurry about in the early morning, a wave of humanism makes itself felt. Beijing's first Jing Si Books and Cafe has just opened its doors to the public.
Welcome, this is our 54th Jing Si bookstore worldwide. We hope to spread love and good thoughts throughout Beijing and inspire more people.
Good thoughts bring forth more good thoughts. Industrialist Wang Guosen helped transform his company's cafeteria into the bookstore.
The greatest form of respect and gratitude to Master Zheng Yan is to pass on what the Master has accumulated over a lifetime.
During remodeling, a contractor was inspired to buy 20 sets of reusable chopsticks, having been inspired by Tzu Chi's values. Local residents have also noticed the changes brought by the bookstore.
I just came over to look around. I've been watching for a few months now. My son and daughter-in-law like books. They were asking me if this would be a bookstore.
This is great. With this bookstore here, I won't have to go anywhere else to look for books. I love books.
Not just an ordinary bookstore, Jing Si Books and Cafe has come to Beijing to share the values of goodness, along with its many titles in stock.
Monday was World Refugee Day. In Malaysia, the UNHCR has been working in partnership with Tzu Chi to provide schooling for young Burmese migrants. Every year, the country receives around 100,000 asylum seekers or refugees from Myanmar, Sri Lanka and even Somalia. On Refugee Day, the UN held an event in Kuala Lumpur to raise awareness of the plight of refugees and encourage people to support these stateless people.
Behind every photograph is the story of a refugee.
Usually we aren't able to identify the refugees, and we are even afraid of them.
Strong on protecting basic human rights, Malaysia is an ideal asylum for refugees.
As a Malaysian, I welcome them to our country.
Understanding and friendship are key to equipping refugees with faith and elevating their self-esteem.
We want this to be an opportunity for Malaysians to really have a chance to understand what refugees go through, what their lives are like, and then most importantly, how they are living in Malaysia.
World Refugee Day is the one day of the year when illegal immigrants in Malaysia can publicly voice themselves. As the refugees showcase their exquisite handcrafts, they hope that more people can pay attention to their plight, their culture, and accept them with an open mind.
I believe that we are all the same. We are one family.
Thailand officially sends 300,000 to 400,000 migrant workers overseas every year. Oddly, the country also has some 2 million illegal migrants. In the first part of a new series on overseas Thai workers, we investigate the reasons behind that apparent contradiction and ask why so many Thais go abroad to find work. Thailand is known for its colourful and smiling people. In downtown Bangkok, the pace of life is easy and not even the blast of car horns disturbs the peace. Starting in the 1970s, Thailand geared its economy towards the export market. The new industrial zones are concentrated in the centre of the country and around Bangkok. But because of its geographic and infrastructure problems, private investors stayed away from northeast Thailand.
The water supply and everything is underdeveloped. Farmers rely on the elements to get by and only plant one crop a season. When they are not farming, they go overseas to work.
Every year, around 300,000 to 400,000 people go overseas to try to pull their families out of poverty. That adds up to 5 out of every 1,000 Thais. The highest proportion come from the northeast.
This is the Thai government's Ministry of Labour Overseas Worker Management Bureau. Anyone who wants to go abroad to work has to fill out a form here with where they want to go and what work they want to do. An average of 200 to 300 people do it every day.
I want to go overseas to work because my children are still small and need tuition fee.
I want to work abroad because the pay is better.
If you could make 10,000 bahts in Thailand, overseas you can make over 20 to 30,000.
According to Thailand's Labour Ministry, most overseas workers are men, outnumbering the women by 8 to 1. The majority go to Asia, double the number that go to the Middle East, and over 8 times as many that go to Europe. Before they go abroad, overseas workers are required to take part in 6 hours of labour training.
Our required course helps everyone fully understand the country they are going to, how to be a good employee, as well as their rights overseas, and what the organisations they can go to for advice and assistance.
Thai workers have been going overseas in search of work for 40 years. Ironically, since the 1997 Asian financial crisis, the Thai economy has been steadily growing. In the last decade, there has been a serious local labour shortage.
It's not that there are no jobs. Thailand has a serious manpower shortage. Thailand is both an exporter and importer of foreign workers. There are nearly 2 million illegal foreign workers in Thailand, from Burma, Cambodia, and Laos.
If Thai wages went up, its competitiveness would evaporate. In Southeast Asia, it couldn't compete or attract foreign investment. It must maintain its competitiveness. So the Thai government keeps wages under control.
With wages deliberately low, local Thai workers struggle to save money and improve their standard of living. The additional problems of regional disparities and the growing poverty gap leave Thai labourers with little choice but to leave their homes and find work overseas. On this day, the 22nd of June, the biggest single collection of ancient Buddhist manuscripts was uncovered on this day in 1900 in a cave in Dunhuang of China's Gansu province. There were over 50,000 documents inside. After the discovery, many of the manuscripts were stolen or damaged and finally made state property by the Chinese government in 1943. The cave became a World Heritage Site in 1987. The Taiwan Sugar Corporation invited a Dutch water resources expert to develop a closed ditch drain system to irrigate farmland and improve soil salinity on the west coast of Taiwan. The project was successfully tested on this day in 1971. The resulting fields of sugarcane helped bring in foreign currency and improve the lives of Taiwanese farmers. At the Tzu Chi chapter in Taichung, Master Zheng Yan told a gathering of commissioners that the ceremony to confer new commissioners would go from being held twice a year to once a year. From then on, the annual ceremony was held together with the year-end blessing event to save on personnel costs. Hosted by the Tzu Chi USA headquarters, around 100 parents and their children took part in the first National Parents-Child Camp. The 4-day and 3-night event taught the participants about conservation and Tzu Chi's culture through games and other fun activities. As well as being a popular topic of Tzu Chi's parent-child activities, conservation is high up on the political agenda. In Taiwan, extreme weather conditions, flipping from drought to torrential rain and back again, have been blamed on global warming. Starting from today, we'll be bringing you a special series on how the island is being affected.
It was at 1-something, not 5 o'clock, that we made the call for help. The water was already up to here, so we immediately made the call.
What forced these people in southern Taiwan to leave their home and seek shelter elsewhere? It was the wind, the rain, the sun, and the ocean. Ocean breezes once gave life to Linbian's farming and fishing industries, but also destroyed them.
After the 8/8 flood, many orchards were flooded, and now you simply cannot grow any more bell fruit there. The fields were all left fallow, and there are fewer bell fruit farmers now. Otherwise, there would be plenty.
Once the pride of Pingtung County, Typhoon Morakot of 2009 reduced the bell fruit production here by 70%. The black pearl of Linbian has lost its former glory. The sun, which nurtures all life on earth, can be deadly as well.
连续好几天的高温让许多民众不敌酷暑。今天全国各地温度都飙升，天气真的很热，在南投居然传出有消防员昏倒的情况。
Before the 50s, our summers were rather cool, and we didn't need to use air conditioners. But after the 50s, our summer temperatures have spiked. Now our winter is no longer cold. The minimal temperature difference between day and night affects the level of humidity and has changed the overall patterns of rainfall in Taiwan.
The rain, which is supposed to give life, wiped away communities during the 8/8 flood.
We lost more than a dozen people. My in-laws, my older and younger brothers, and my aunt, all their families gone. How are we to survive?
Since the 1950s, the rainfall pattern in Taiwan has been alternating between two extremes. It was either torrential rain or drought. Before the 80s, torrential rains weren't as severe and droughts didn't occur as often. But after the 80s, drought has become a lot more frequent and lasts longer, while the intensity of torrential rain has increased several times over.
The data is more than alarming. It affects people's lives.
After retiring from the army, 70-year-old Zhu Dexiong joined Tzu Chi volunteers at his local recycling station in South Taiwan. The creative man uses discarded bits and pieces to make useful things. His creations have attracted visitors from home and abroad.
Turn the video back and take a closer look. A recycled telephone has been turned into a pedal for the washing basin. The design saves water and is environmentally friendly.
After we wash our hands, the water will flow down there and water the plants. I made everything out of recycled materials, including the bathroom. Yes, a sister's house was torn down, so we used some of the materials.
Apart from building the garden in the recycling station, Zhu Dexiong also built the outdoor bathroom all by himself. The 70-year-old retired soldier is now a full-time volunteer at Tzu Chi's recycling station and creatively extends the life of material goods by using them whenever and wherever he can.
I just make them as I go. When I was building the washing basin, I didn't think of using the telephone as a pedal at first. And you see those? I made them using driftwood.
The ark made with debris is like a piece of art, and the station attracts school visitors from home and abroad. Little did Zhu know that after spending most of his life as a soldier, he would become a teacher at the recycling station, teaching others about conservation work.
Staying in Taiwan, rehearsals for the Water Repentance musical are underway ahead of a second evaluation in a few days. To accommodate a cast of more than 100 in Yonghe, Taipei, volunteers use the gymnasium at a local high school to practice at night.
In New Taipei City's Yonghe district, Water Repentance cast members are rehearsing hard for their second evaluation. Dressed in grey, sign language performer Lin Wenxiang says that being part of the musical has helped improve his personality.
Before, I often spoke ill of people and was never responsible for what I said. Now, I vow sincerely to change all my bad ways.
Waiting his turn, Zheng Deye wastes no time continuing to practice his part.
At first, I had difficulty learning it, but gradually it became more fun. I love being with everybody. It's so much fun.
Volunteers struggled at first to find a rehearsal venue that could accommodate over 100 people. Fortunately, they got permission to use the Yongping Junior High School gym. However, extra creativity is required to set up a makeshift stage without altering the interior of the gym. Down on all fours, volunteers piece together a stage of 11 white tarpaulins, just like a puzzle. In no time, cast members are able to start their rehearsal. Rehearsal after rehearsal, both formations and choreography are getting closer to perfection. Volunteers are working hard together to make the performance a memorable experience for cast and audience alike.
Taiwan's Immigration Department recently held a first musical concert for illegal immigrants at a detention centre in Taipei. Tzu Chi volunteers, other charity groups and even an orchestra were on hand to provide the music.
The Immigration Department is holding its first charity concert in its Taipei shelter for illegal immigrants. After simple introductions, the orchestra performs.
We hope the concert will bring care and love from the Taiwanese people to all the inmates.
Listening to familiar lyrics, the foreigners sing along happily. Volunteers also sing a few Tzu Chi signature songs, which moved many to tears. The concert brings laughter and happiness to the inmates.
We're all really happy. We have never been so happy before. What's most important is to share the emotions that music brings with people from all walks of life. We are very happy to be here. I think this concert has been a success because it helped calm the inmates' hearts. Do you know what I see on your faces now? Happy smiles.
Though their lives in Taiwan did not have a happy ending, the concert brings these foreigners hope and love.
Love and care from Singapore next, where one Ms. Lee, who is originally from Thailand, thought she'd lost everything when her husband died. With no family to rely on, it was Tzu Chi volunteers who came to help her organise the funeral.
With her critically ill husband in bed, Ms. Lee can't stop crying. Volunteers are there close by her side to give her support.
My husband is ill, and Tzu Chi has been keeping me company and helping me with the funeral arrangements. I don't have any family here. I don't know what to do.
Ms. Lee moved from Thailand to Singapore to marry her Chinese husband. The two have been together ever since. In 2004, Ms. Lee's husband faced kidney failure and became a Tzu Chi subsidized dialysis patient. After her husband passed away, Ms. Lee could only count on Tzu Chi to help her through the aftermath of her loss.
I don't have any family. You have helped me with so many things, and I thank you for that. Starting from now, I want to join Tzu Chi in Singapore and help others.
Before that, Ms. Lee will have to sort out her residence issue. She has not had any luck getting her residence visa since moving to Singapore.
We hope that she can find a job and get an employer to help her apply for permanent residency. That way she'll be able to stay in the country.
With volunteers serving as her family, what seemed like a bleak future for Ms. Lee has lightened up with hope.
A hopeful group of 180 graduating students from an elementary school in Hsinchu, Taiwan, served tea to their teachers and parents at a ceremony led by Tzu Chi volunteers. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching Dai Headlines. Goodbye.